The officer did see a weapon.
He saw a hairbrush.
That looked like a weapon.
What's this in my hand right now? You gonna tell me that this looks like a weapon?
In his hand, yes.
What about in my hand? Huh? Does it look like a weapon now? Get on the ground! No! Down on the ground before I shoot you! Don't move before I shoot you with it! Look at me and stop crying! That's what it's like!
The movie opens in the Carter household with a man named Maverick who gathers his black family for an important talk. He teaches his children, Starr, Seven, and Sekani, a few rules to follow if they're ever pulled over by the police. He tells them to keep their hands visible, not to argue, and to comply.
You keep your hands posted, because moving makes the police get all nervous.
He also gives them the Black Panther Bill of Rights and urges them to memorize it. Their mother, Lisa, watches with concern in her eyes. She feels the kids are still too young for such a talk, since they're just hitting puberty, and Sekani is only a year old. But Maverick insists. He just wants to prepare his children for the life that awaits them. Now in the present, the kids are older. Starr and Seven are teenagers. Starr narrates how her parents had her at 17.
Mama and Daddy had me when they were 17. My nana even threw Mama out the house. Said Daddy was no good, just to push her for the King Lord's gang. She swore raising the dead was more likely than Mama and Daddy making it. Mama's. They stay proving her and everybody else wrong. And in large part, that means making sure that we don't make the same mistakes.
I love you.
Ain't it too old for that?
I can't even lie, they're my OTP. One true pairing.
The family lives in a predominantly black neighborhood called Garden Heights, the same place where Maverick grew up. Maverick used to be the right-hand man to the biggest drug dealer in the area, a man named King, before he opened a grocery store. We also find out that Seven is Starr's half-brother. Years ago, Maverick cheated with another woman, and she had his baby. After they broke up, Maverick took the child in and raised him with his own family, since his wife was able to forgive him. That woman is now married to King.
Mama thinks Daddy is scared of change. She left the garden when she was a little girl, and she wants us to get out too. Either way, you gotta stay ready, because Garden Heights is always gonna be ready for you. The high school is where you go to get jumped, high, pregnant, or killed. We don't go there. Not since what happened to my friend Natasha. So, Mama sent us to another school, where everyone's college bound.
Lisa transferred them to an elite prep school called Williamson High, where most of the students are white. At Williamson, Starr has to code switch. She tones down her blackness and avoids slang to fit in. The school's bright lighting and pastel colors contrast sharply with the grittier tones of Garden Heights, but Starr keeps her two worlds strictly separated.
So when I'm here, I'm Starr version 2. That means flipping a switch in my brain. Williamson Starr doesn't use slang. If a rapper would say it, she doesn't, even if her white friends do.
Yo, those kicks are lit.
Thanks, Space Jams. Hey, boo. Hey, how are you? I'm good, girl.
Slang makes them cool. Slang makes me hood. Basically, Williamson Starr doesn't give anyone a reason to call her ghetto. And I hate myself for doing it.
At school, Starr tells her best friends, Maya and Hailey, that her boyfriend Chris lured her to his house and tried to hook up with her. Hailey jokes about kicking his ass, and they all laugh. Right then, Starr's popular and handsome boyfriend Chris walks into the building. Starr can't help but notice him rocking her favorite pair of Nike sneakers.
He smells like Old Spice. And his lips are soft. Damn, he's wearing the same Space Jam 11s as mine. He knows Jordans are my weakness.
When he spots her, Chris comes over and tries to impress her with a new beat he made. But Starr is still upset with him. He apologizes for his behavior, explaining that he thought she just wanted to skip ahead to the physical side of their relationship since she never hangs out with him outside of school or invites him over to meet her parents. They patch things up, and Chris lightens the mood by dancing to his beat. Starr laughs, and the two share a kiss, drawing judgmental stares from some of the rich white girls.
We get the questions. Why is he dating her? On the real, I sometimes wonder the same thing. Now, the stares usually come from the rich white girls, but they're way too scared to actually say anything to our faces.
Chris then suggests they go on a date next weekend, and Starr agrees. That night, Starr and Kenya, her friend and Seven's half-sister, attend a neighborhood party. The music is blasting, the house is packed, and the atmosphere is electric. Starr feels out of place, admitting she doesn't usually go to Garden Heights parties. Kenya teases her for dressing too plain compared to everyone else. Then Kenya spots a rude classmate and asks Starr to help her fight.
And you so lucky you go to that private school. And you gotta deal with hoes like that.
No, there's hoes in my school too. Trust me, hoedom is universal.
Starr refuses, accusing Kenya of only bringing her to the party as backup. Their conversation is cut short when Kenya's other friends show up. They greet Starr, but tease her for being too scared to fight and for only partying with white kids.
Scary.
Wandering through the crowd, Starr is relieved to run into her childhood best friend Khalil. They embrace warmly. Starr notices Khalil's expensive shoes and earrings and wonders what kind of work he's doing. They catch up. Khalil shares that his grandmother has cancer and he's been busy supporting the family. They laugh over old inside jokes. Khalil teases her about her music taste and they dance together.
I mean, I don't know, you be hanging with all the white kids. I'm just saying.
Shut up. You better stop.
Oh, damn, did I scalp you? I'm so sorry.
No, stop. Don't scrub. You gotta be gentle. Every time a sneaker is cleaned properly, a kitten dies.
Sneakerhead.
But suddenly, a fight breaks out and gunshots ring through the house. The crowd panics and scatters. Khalil grabs Starr's hand and pulls her out. They rush to his car and speed away from the chaos. On the drive, Khalil plays some Tupac, and Starr teases him for listening to old music. Khalil explains that Tupac inspired him, and he remembers what Tupac said.
Thug life means the hate you give little infants. Everybody. THUGLIFE.
Meaning what?
Meaning what society gives to us when we little comes back to bite them in the ass when we grow up and we wild out.
Starr asks about his new job, but Khalil stays vague. He admits that after his grandmother lost her job due to illness, he had to find a way to survive. Khalil pulls the car over so he can look Starr in the eye. They reminisce about the games they played when they were 10 and their first kiss.
Do you remember when we used to play Harry Potter?
Yeah.
What did we call ourselves?
The Hood Trio.
The Hood Trio?
You still have your wand?
Hell no, I ain't got that one.
I know you still have it.
I don't have it. I threw it away because you would never let me be Harry.
Because you were Ron.
But I was really Harry.
No, I was Harry. You were Ron. Natasha was Hermione.
Khalil leans in and kisses her. He makes it clear he's interested, but Starr reminds him she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, I heard. I didn't want to hear, but it's all good.
Really?
We've been together our whole lives, Starr. We got time.
As he drives again, flashing lights appear behind them. A police cruiser pulls them over. Starr immediately tenses. She remembers her father's talk and puts her hands on the dashboard. She begs Khalil to do the same, but he doesn't take it seriously.
Starr, we ain't done nothing. Will we drive like 50 feet?
Please, just do it.
The officer approaches, saying Khalil failed to signal a lane change. He demands Khalil's license and registration. Khalil, confused but not hostile, hesitates.
I want to know why you pulling me over.
Khalil, keep your hands on the dash.
Starr, how am I supposed to get him my license and registration if I have to stay still?
You failed to signal lane change. Turn the music off.
Why? I can hear you.
Please, Khalil.
Turn it off.
This is my car, so how can you tell me
Step
that?
out of the car.
You ain't got no right to do this.
Starr tries to record with her phone, but the officer yells at her to put it down.
Drop the phone.
He takes Khalil's documents and runs a check, ordering Khalil to keep his hands on the car. When the officer walks away, Khalil leans into the car to talk to Starr.
You all right?
Go back where he told you.
Yo, but come on, why you messing up my car?
Just listen to him, Khalil. I'm not playing. Go back.
Khalil reaches in and grabs a hairbrush. Khalil collapses as Starr screams. She rushes to him, but the officer restrains her and cuffs her.
Where is it? Where's the weapon? Okay, the gun. Where is it?
What gun?
Where?
Horrified at his mistake, the officer calls for an ambulance, but it's too late. Khalil dies on the spot, leaving Starr in shock and disbelief. After the shooting, Starr is questioned by police detectives. She explains what happened and even provides the badge number of the officer who shot Khalil. Though polite, the detectives subtly try to shift blame, asking about Khalil's past and whether he dealt drugs. This infuriates Starr, and she becomes defensive. Lisa, sitting with her, voices her concern.
You have not asked my daughter one question about the cop.
We just want the whole picture, Miss.
Well,
That's
you
all.
asked questions about what happened. 115 killed Khalil, and he didn't do anything wrong, so I don't know what more of a bigger picture you need.
Thankfully, Starr's uncle Carlos, who is also a police officer, arrives, interrupts the interrogation, and takes his niece away. The next morning, Starr wakes from a nightmare about the shooting. Maverick comforts her, calming her down. At breakfast, he offers words of encouragement to lift her spirits. Sekani steals Starr's bacon, making everyone laugh. That weekend, the Carters visit Khalil's grandmother to offer condolences. At her house, everyone's eyes are on Starr. Khalil's grandmother hugs her tightly, telling her she was the only real friend Khalil ever had. Starr admits she was with Khalil when he died. The woman is grateful he didn't die alone. A little later, Carlos and his wife arrive to pay their respects. While there, Starr gets a text from Chris asking where she is. She suddenly remembers she had a date with him that weekend. She texts him that she can't make it. Chris is clearly disappointed. Carlos reveals to Starr and her parents that the officer who shot Khalil has been placed on paid administrative leave until the investigation concludes. He explains that the case might lead to Starr testifying before a grand jury.
No. I don't want everyone knowing that Starr is the witness. She doesn't need that kind of attention. Should we get a lawyer?
Witnesses don't need attorneys.
Starr ain't just a witness, Los.
Look, if you don't trust the system, can you at least trust me? Star's like my daughter.
But she ain't.
It didn't seem that way when you was locked up.
Stop it!
The chances of Khalil getting justice are slim. Starr is furious about the whole situation and storms off angrily. At school, Starr is still traumatized and grieving, but she hides it as best she can.
Grand jury. Stuff like this ends up on the news. People get death threats. Cops target them. What will it mean at school? Will I suddenly be the poor girl from the hood who saw her friend get killed? I just gotta be quiet.
Later, during basketball practice, Starr can't focus. When Hailey makes a fried chicken joke, Starr nearly attacks her.
Starr, just pretend the ball is a piece of fried chicken.
What was that?
What? It's game talk.
Fried chicken is game talk? I've never heard that one before.
Holy Starr, we had fried chicken for lunch. It was a joke. What's going on, girl? You know me, I know you better than anyone. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just tired.
After school, Starr hangs out with Kenya at a local cafe. While waiting for their order, the news airs a report about the shooting. Dashcam footage shows that the officer mistook a hairbrush for a weapon, and the report mentions that an eyewitness will be called to testify before a grand jury. Khalil's mom is interviewed, demanding justice for her son. Kenya immediately realizes that Starr is the eyewitness, since she was the last one seen with Khalil that night. After leaving the cafe, Kenya urges Starr to stand up for Khalil and help him get justice. Seeing Starr's hesitation, she reminds her that if the situation were reversed, Khalil wouldn't hesitate to fight for her. Kenya's father, King, arrives to pick her up.
Hi, Daddy.
And offers Starr a ride to her dad's grocery store. On the way, King sympathizes with Starr over Khalil's death. He tells her he's been through something similar and knows the toll it takes on a person's mind. He advises her to stay strong and out of trouble. After dropping her off, King pulls Maverick aside. It turns out King bought Maverick the grocery store after Maverick went to prison to cover for him. They catch up briefly, and then King warns that Starr shouldn't talk to the cops because Khalil had been selling drugs for him and he's afraid Starr might expose that. Maverick assures him that Starr won't cause any trouble and that he'll protect his daughter.
Hey, Starr, remember what I told you, all right? Keep that shit in your rear view.
At home, Lisa, after hearing what happened, believes King is threatening Starr and that he'll hurt her if she speaks about Khalil's drug dealing. Fearing for their safety, she wants the family to move to a better neighborhood. Maverick refuses, promising he won't let King harm them. The tension between them escalates. Starr overhears the argument and tells her parents she doesn't feel well and doesn't want to go to Khalil's funeral. Lisa refuses to listen, ordering her to get dressed. While getting ready, Starr finds the magic wand her friend Natasha used to play with when she was a kid, before Natasha was killed. Her dad walks in.
You can watch that Harry Potter and the Goblet of Half-Blood Gumbo Ghosts.
I think I'm good, Daddy. You the worst person to watch Harry Potter with. The whole time you're like, Harry Potter is about the gang theory.
It is. Hogwarts houses have their own colors, their own hideouts, and they always riding for each other. How that ain't about gang? You know I'm right. Y'all had y'all's own little Harry Potter gang. Now Natasha and Khalil both gone and you still here.
Starr tells him about the famous Tupac quote she learned from Khalil. The hate you give little infants f***s everybody. Thug life. Maverick says he knows the quote well and explains its meaning. How society poisons black children and then punishes them for how they survive.
Drugs, a multi-billion-dollar industry. Brothers like me and Khalil get caught up because it looked like a way out. That shit is flown into our communities. And I don't know nobody with a private jet.
Me neither.
And then they trap us. And we end up in prison, another billion-dollar hustle. And they got us riding through there like we on a conveyor belt. That's how I end up in prison with my daddy.
You went to jail with your own daddy?
Yep. But when I caught up with him, wasn't nothing he can do to help me. He was just a weak old man with regrets. And his light was gone. And I swore that would never be me, because I'm gonna break the cycle for my kids.
At Khalil's funeral, the church is packed. The air is heavy with grief and anger. When Starr sees Khalil lying in the casket, she breaks down, remembering their final moments together. Lisa comforts her and leads her away. King and his family arrive. Seven's mom, Aisha, spots him and calls out for him to join her. When he refuses, she begins shouting his name, causing a scene. To avoid embarrassment, Lisa tells Seven to go over to her.
Baby, go back there with your mother.
You know he don't want to sit with her.
I know, but she's yelling in the church, baby.
During the service, the pastor invites April, a lawyer from an activist group called Just Us for Justice, to speak. April warns the congregation that the officer who shot Khalil may walk free, even though there is a credible eyewitness. She urges everyone to join a peaceful protest at the police station after the service. Her words ignite the congregation, who are ready to fight for justice. Before leaving the podium, April gestures toward Starr, making it clear she knows Starr is the eyewitness. After the service, protesters are already gathered outside the church, holding placards and chanting. Police are present to keep order, but the crowd is growing restless. Fearing the protest will spiral out of control, Maverick quickly ushers his family away. That night, the news reports that the protest turned violent. The Carters sit together, watching the coverage. The report catches Chris's attention, and he calls Starr to check if she and her family are safe. At the same time, there's a knock at the door. It's April, the lawyer. She has come to speak to Starr. April explains that Starr's testimony could strengthen the case against the officer.
Where were you exactly?
In the passenger seat.
Do you have any proof of what you saw? Did you record it on a phone?
No, the officer told me to drop it.
She suggests starting with a TV interview so Starr can tell her side of the story. Maverick doesn't object, but Lisa refuses. She doesn't want her daughter's face on television, fearing it will put her in danger. April doesn't press further. Before leaving, she listens as Starr recalls losing her other best friend, Natasha, when they were children.
We were playing basketball on the sidewalk when this car rolled by and this tattered hand pulled out a gun. We must have been in the way. It was 3 shots. And she was on the ground. And I remember she looked really scared because she was about to see what happens after you die. And I know who did it.
What? Starr, you never told us that.
It was a King Lord. He missed me once, and I didn't want to give him another chance, so I didn't snitch. And then I heard a few months later that he got killed, so I didn't say anything. Tell me, Miss Ofrah, what kind of friend is that?
Now she faces the same dilemma, and she's torn about what to do. April gives Starr her number and tells her she can call if she changes her mind about the interview. The next day at school, Starr notices students buzzing with excitement. She finds out that classes have been canceled so students can join the protest for Khalil. But Starr is disgusted when she realizes they're not genuinely concerned. They just see it as an excuse to skip school.
What's wrong?
This isn't right.
Who else is gonna speak up for our people, girl?
Our people?
Sickened by this, she calls her uncle Carlos to pick her up. Chris tries to find out why she's been acting differently, but she brushes him off. Moments later, Carlos arrives and drives her to the hospital, where Lisa works. Lisa scolds Starr for skipping school, but Starr explains what happened with her classmates and tells her mom she's finally ready to do the interview. That evening, Starr's parents take her to a popular TV station, where April is waiting. They agree that Starr's face will be blurred during the interview to protect her identity. Starr answers questions about what she witnessed that night. The host also asks about Khalil's life and work. On camera, Starr admits that Khalil had worked for a drug lord in Garden Heights, explaining he only took the job as a means to survive.
Dealing for the biggest drug dealers in Garden Heights, the King Lords.
So there's one gang that controls your entire neighborhood. Tell me about that.
Why are you only asking me about that? I mean, next week I'll be called to testify in a grand jury investigation, but no one wants to know what actually happened.
Everyone wants to know what Khalil did.
Back in Garden Heights, King watches the interview with a stern expression, furious that Starr is running her mouth. After the interview, the family goes to a restaurant for dinner. While they eat, Starr notices King and his crew waiting for them outside. Maverick sees them too and steps out to confront King directly. The two get into a scuffle over Starr's interview, but before it escalates, police officers arrive. King and his men scatter, but the officers immediately accuse Maverick of causing trouble and search him in front of his family. Even when Lisa shows them his ID, they refuse to let him go.
Go back inside now.
No, thank you, officer. I will wait right here until you release my husband.
I said go back inside.
No, sir. My father didn't do anything wrong.
Show me your ID.
He is a child.
Seven steps in to defend his father, and the police try to arrest him too. He resists. Starr records everything, as do other diners in the restaurant.
Put that down now.
I have a right to record this.
She's the witness.
Once the officers realize Starr is the eyewitness and that people are filming, they let Maverick go and leave.
Consider this a warning.
Lisa picks up a crying Sekani, and the family heads home. Starr apologizes to her dad for everything, saying she should have kept quiet and never done the interview.
Get out the car and line up on the grass. Point 7 of the 10-point program. Say it. Stop crying and say it.
We want an immediate end to police brutality.
Finish it.
In the murder of black people and people of color and oppressed people.
By what means?
By any means necessary.
So why you gonna be quiet? What does that say?
Reasons to live give reasons to die.
You, your brothers, and your mother are my reasons to live and die. I gave each of you power in your names. Starlight, Sekani, Joy. 7, perfection. Use it. So when you're ready to talk, you talk. Don't ever let nobody make you be quiet.
The next day, Starr hangs out with Hailey and Maya. She is distant, not really vibing with them. On TV, news coverage shows Officer Brian, the man who shot Khalil, and features an interview with his father, who claims his son is depressed and receiving death threats. Hailey expresses sympathy.
That sucks. That poor family.
What?
His son was only trying to do his job and protect himself. His life matters too, you know.
I need to. Wait, Starr! Starr! Maya, I cannot talk to her right now.
That cop's life matters also. Are you gonna be mad because I said that too?
Because you think that his life matters more than the person that you said you were protesting for. You unfollowed my Tumblr after the protest. Was it the picture of Emmett Till that did it? Did you sympathize with his poor family before you looked away?
Maya, now she's calling me a racist.
No, I didn't. I just asked you a question.
Later, Starr meets her mom for lunch and tells her what happened with Hailey. Lisa admits she never liked how Starr always tried to fit into Hailey's world. She advises her daughter to weigh the good and bad in people, and if the bad outweighs the good, to let them go. Lisa shares her own story. When Maverick got Seven's mom pregnant, she was deeply hurt, but her love for him outweighed his mistakes. It's prom night. Starr walks into the venue and notices everyone staring. Chris approaches her, serious. He pulls her aside and reveals he knows she was the witness in the blurred TV interview. He isn't upset that she was involved. He's hurt she didn't trust him enough to tell him. Starr lashes out, saying he could never understand what it feels like to live in two different worlds. She opens up about the trauma of seeing two of her friends killed. Chris admits he may never fully understand, but he cares about her deeply and wants to be there for her.
But black, white, nobody gives a shit. We're all the same.
But we're not. Y'all want to act black, but you get to keep your white privilege. You think playing ball and jumping in some lame-ass Williamson cipher makes you understand what it is to be black? It doesn't.
Starr, I just told you I don't see color. I see people for who they are the exact same way I see you.
If you don't see my blackness, you don't see me.
I see you.
He offers to take her home so he can finally meet her dad. When they arrive in Garden Heights, Starr and Seven quiz Chris on black culture to prep him for meeting Maverick. At the door, Maverick mistakes Chris for a chauffeur and tries to tip him, warning him to leave before local thugs notice the limo.
You better get out of here before someone steals your ride.
When Lisa invites Chris in, Maverick is confused until Starr reveals Chris is her boyfriend.
Who's this?
Daddy, this is Chris.
Who's Chris?
Chris is my boyfriend.
You got a boyfriend?
Maverick is upset that his daughter is dating a white boy. Chris, uncomfortable, excuses himself and leaves. Afterward, Maverick demands to know why everyone in the family knew about Chris except him. He worries that he hasn't set a strong example of what a black man should be, and that's why Starr is dating outside her race.
Girls usually go with boys who look like their daddy. Guess I ain't set a good example of a black man for you.
No, you didn't. You set a good example of what a man should be. Duh.
If this little boy got you saying duh, he might have to go.
Suddenly, gunfire erupts outside, and bullets tear into the house. Maverick grabs his gun to defend the family, but the shooters drive off, shouting for Starr to keep her mouth shut. Shaken, the family temporarily moves in with Carlos, but Maverick refuses to stay. He won't be intimidated by King and his thugs. Seven chooses to return with his father. Back home, Maverick and Seven stand guard outside, ready to protect their house if necessary. The next morning, Starr talks with Carlos about Khalil's death. Carlos explains what goes through an officer's mind during a stop.
The officer thinks, are they hiding something? Is the car stolen? Now, if there's a girl in the passenger seat like you, does she look all right? Has she been beaten or raped? If they start talking to each other and not the officer, we figure they might be trying to distract.
If a driver disobeys orders and reaches into a car, he won't hesitate to shoot if he believes he sees a weapon.
So if I think I see a gun, I don't hesitate. I shoot.
You shoot because you think you see a gun? You don't say something first? Like, put your hands up?
It depends. Is it night? Can I see? Am I on duty alone?
What if you were in a white neighborhood and it was a white man wearing a suit, driving a Mercedes? He could be a drug dealer, right?
He could.
So if you saw him reach into the window and you thought that you saw a gun, would you shoot him or would you say put your hands up?
I say put your hands up.
Do you hear what you just said?
His answer leaves Starr disappointed, confirming that the rules aren't applied equally. The following day, Starr, accompanied by April and her parents, testifies before a grand jury. Her words will determine whether charges will be filed against the officer. She tells the jury everything she witnessed and speaks about what kind of person Khalil truly was, highlighting the injustice of his death. Afterwards, she returns to her routine, anxiously waiting for the jury's decision. At school, Hailey approaches Starr to check if she's over their argument. Hailey refuses to apologize and doubles down, insisting the officer was justified. She argues that Khalil was a drug dealer and would have ended up dead anyway.
He was a drug dealer. Someone was probably gonna kill him eventually.
Starr fires back, reminding her that Khalil was killed because he picked up a hairbrush. Hailey dismisses it, saying a hairbrush could look like a weapon in Khalil's hands. Enraged, Starr snatches Hailey's hairbrush and pretends to strike her with it. Hailey screams and falls to the ground, crying. Furious, she storms out. Chris catches up with her and calms her down. He takes her to his car, where she finally lets all her emotions spill out.
I'm stuck. You're gonna leave. I got you.
Then, she receives a text from Kenya. King has beaten up Seven. Chris drives her to King's house, where they find Seven badly injured. Luckily, King isn't home. Seven begs Starr to leave, worried for her safety, but she refuses to go without him. As they prepare to leave, Seven's mother, Aisha, stops them and reveals that Seven took the beating for Starr. She urges them to take Kenya and her younger sister with them, since she doesn't want the responsibility.
What? Y'all bothering me. Trying to get my drink on.
Just then, King arrives, walking toward the house. Aisha quickly helps them escape out the back door. They decide to take Seven to the hospital, but they get stuck in a traffic jam caused by an ongoing protest. Starr learns that the protest is happening because the officer who shot Khalil has been found innocent. Devastated, Starr asks Chris to drive her away from the area. But when they hit another jam, Starr sees the crowds of people fighting for Khalil. Their determination gives her the courage to act. She steps out of the car and asks Chris to take Kenya and her little sister somewhere safe. Despite his injuries, Seven refuses to let Starr go alone. Together, they join the protest, which is being led by April and members of Just Us for Justice. The protesters eventually come face to face with heavily armed police, who warn them to disperse.
You on the wrong side, brother!
Starr bravely walks up to April, takes the megaphone, and climbs onto a car. Her voice trembles with emotion, but remains unshakable as she declares that she is the eyewitness to Khalil's death. She tells the crowd that Khalil mattered, that she's tired of being silenced, and that enough is enough. The crowd erupts in support, but the police fire tear gas into the crowd and chaos breaks out. Starr grabs one of the canisters and hurls it back at the officers. She and Seven, coughing and struggling to breathe, try to escape the chaos. Some protesters recognize them as Maverick's children and offer them a ride. They take the siblings to Maverick's grocery store, where Starr and Seven wash their faces with milk to ease the sting of the gas. The men who gave them a lift promise to find Maverick and let him know where his kids are. Unbeknownst to them, King and his men are watching. After the helpers leave, King orders one of his men to throw a Molotov cocktail into the store. Flames spread quickly, trapping Starr and Seven inside. They try to escape through the back door, but it's locked from the outside. Local business owners rush over when they see the fire, and Maverick arrives just in time. He forces the back door open, saving his children's lives. Moments later, Carlos pulls up with Lisa and Sekani. When King sees Maverick, he charges at him. Both men reach for their weapons, but suddenly, Sekani points a gun at King, demanding he leave his father alone. Two police officers arrive on the scene and immediately point their guns at Sekani, ordering him to drop the weapon. Tension thickens. Another tragedy seems inevitable, but Starr steps in front of her brother, shielding him. She pleads with the officers.
How many of us have to die before y'all get it?
The officers slowly lower their weapons, and Sekani drops the gun. Maverick pulls his daughter into a tight hug, proud of her for protecting her brother. In the aftermath, Maverick loses his grocery store in the fire, but he vows to rebuild. The community finally rises up against King's reign of fear, and he is arrested. With King gone, the Carter family feels a new sense of peace and decides to remain in Garden Heights. Seven graduates from high school and prepares to head off to college. Starr cuts ties with Hailey for good, and now only keeps in touch with Chris and Maya at school. Later, Starr visits Khalil's grandmother.
Starr, I'm cleaning out Khalil's room. You go in there and get what you like.
In his room, she finds his wand, the one he used to play with as a kid.
You still have your wand?
Hell no, I got that wand.
I know you still have it.
I don't have it. I threw it away because you would never let me be here.
She takes it and keeps it alongside hers and Natasha's, promising to preserve the memories of her lost friends.